It's Yash. So I got these videos flip-flop. I intended on making this video about how this sexual instinct can be a distraction on my other video, but I ended up talking about the positive things of it. So this time I'm going to try to focus on the negative. It's not negative, it's all good. It's like we can't learn what the positive is unless we have a negative. This is the thing about life. You can't just... that's why it's like non-duality is a part of duality also. See, how would you even have any idea or concept or desire to realize the non-dual state if you weren't also in the dual state? So both are there. So anybody that denies the dual state, who's talking like they're a non-duality teacher, they're like missing a lot. They need to watch this video. So why is the sexual instinct so distracting? Why does it... I mentioned in the other video, it's the second strongest instinct that we have as a human being. The first instinct is self-preservation, which we know how strong that is. Everybody wants to survive. It's super strong. So just think, sexual instinct is the second strongest. So it's strong. And it has to be there. Otherwise the planet wouldn't be populated. We wouldn't even get into relationships. It's too much work. How do people continuously sign up to get into these dramatic relationships when it's like always almost drama for most people? But then they'll go do it again. They're like, no, I'm going to find the right one next time. Yeah, right. So why? Because we're compelled by this sexual instinct. So anytime, it's cold out, anytime a software program is so strong, there's going to be consequences. There's going to be duality, heaven and hell. It's like same sleeping, eating, strong programs. If you don't eat and you're not purposely intentionally doing a water fast, yeah, see what's going to happen, especially if you go a month. And then if you eat nice healthy meal, balanced, how do you feel? Good. Same with sleeping. Miss a couple nights of sleep, and the functioning of the body and everything starts to go down. But you get a good night's sleep and you're full on. So those are, we can't get away from these instincts. So the sexual instinct, the problem is it gets perverted. Not necessarily in a grotesque way, that happens too, but what I mean by perverted, it becomes very obsessive and compulsive. And the motives that surrounds this, our actions and thoughts in the sex arena, it becomes super distracting. Like, how can you I was in Thailand doing... That's back when I had a meditation daily, nightly practice, and I was doing my practice, and it kept flashing in my head about this soapy massage parlor. I wanted to experience that, but I'm like, no, I'm spiritual. I'm not going to do it. God damn, I keep thinking about it, and so finally I had to get on my bike and go see what that was, and it's like the younger we are, the stronger this force is going to be, because it's supposed to be like that. Our biological instinct, it kicks in when we're, in the 20s, basically. And we start looking for a mate. This is how it works. You get married, have sex, have a kid, and you keep this world going. So those who really, like, when we're looking to transcend this program, and we're not really looking to get married. If we are looking to get married or have a relationship, actually this whole thing's easier, because then we can focus on our partner, our attention's going there. It takes us out of the whole playing field, But those who are prone to like addictions or sex addiction, or those who are single, those who are dopamine addicts and stuff. See, but at the same time, you want to have a spiritual practice and evolve. You see, you guys have... I was one of them. we have a hard time. And it's like, especially, I call this edging. It's like there's some allure when we're talking about the opposite sex. Like, you notice though, when you're in public or somewhere, if you're a guy, you notice like, oh, there's a girl. So you don't do that with a guy, like, oh, there's a guy, or there's a baby, or there's an animal. No, girls. Well, there's a girl. Girls do the same thing. Like, whoa, there's some inner response. Sun's getting bright, isn't it? Huh. There's some inner response that that triggers this, the software program activates. So what to do? And you see, if your practice is to keep the attention kind of marinating in this your inner being or consciousness, then that sounds good. As I'm saying that, it looks like there's this bright light. If that's your spiritual practice, to stay inner aligned with this, then this is going to be a distraction, clearly. And this can happen so frequently, especially if you're busy in life and you're doing stuff and you're constantly in there, especially if you're in Hollywood. I'm so glad to leave there. What do you do? What do you do when you have these distractions? Well, it depends how strong they are. See, we're at different levels. Those who are more prone to this, to being an addict to whatever, drugs or alcohol or sex or edging, then you might need some 12-step program. I'm a big proponent of 12-step programs. I can recommend a 12-step program to everybody for anything. There's so many, and they're so good. There's Emotions Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Sex Porn Addict Anonymous, Food, Overeating Anonymous. They're all good. Why not utilize them? God put them here. God put these tools here to help on a practical level, but it's also a spiritual program. So you get both. You get practical and spiritual combined. Spiritual meaning that, so we work on practical level. We start to look and see on more human level, like do inventory, see what the issues are, why we keep doing this. Okay, that stuff's cool, it's relevant. But then the spiritual level is we find a power that's greater than this human power. Mind power. This is the benefit of a spiritual program. And then some of us, we have to go beyond the 12-step spirituality, and then we find non-duality or self-inquiry or whatever. But the two complement each other, and it accelerates things. God's put all these tools here to help accelerate one's spiritual evolution. You have 12-step programs, you have plant medicine, ayahuasca and San Pedro, they can play their role. There's many things, why not use them all? If your desire is to wake up and be free like today, like right now, then I would think that you'd be open to using these other things. Don't let other teachers say you don't need anything, there's nothing nothing exists, nothing's relevant, this is all meaningless, you're already awake, all that stuff. See, the ego likes hearing that because then you don't have to do nothing. So I don't have to do anything. Yeah, I can keep being obsessed with the sex or the opposite sex, and it doesn't matter. It's not really real, and you can waste your whole life doing that. Then you have to come back next life and work on this stuff. So if there's already awareness that you have, you're prone to this tendency to get trapped in these distractions that can come from the sex drive. Start looking at it. Don't dismiss it. You start looking at it. The consciousness, when we start looking at something, we get some power. It's like it's in front of us now. We're not identified with it. You see, when we're not looking at it, it's like we just react. We're just acting. Oh, there's a girl. Yeah. Get her number. It's like there's no reflection. When we see these, you can say defects of character, there's space. It's like, oh, I'm looking at this. What's going on? Like, do I want to act on this? And you start to have awareness, and then you start to be more the awareness that's looking, as opposed to the thing you're looking at. This is self-inquiry in non-duality. So that practice has to be important to you. Now, if you still have strong desires to experience certain things, see, that's a different story. Then these self-inquiry and spiritual practices won't really help. You have to go, they'll help, but you got to like burn through that karma so that you can get free. I coined a term, it's called paradoxical sadhana. If somebody has too strong a desire, sometimes I recommend just go do what you do, man. Be careful. Like, don't do stuff that's gonna, it's illegal or something. But I'm saying, if you have a, strong desire to make money or something, go make a bunch of money. I did. I sold cars 1 month and made like $12,000 back 20 years ago. And I'm like, this sucks, man. I felt like I sold my soul to the devil. Like, how much, the energy and all the work it took to make that money. And like, what am I going to do with the money now? But anyway, I experienced that desire. And the same, like, you got to find a way to experience these desires, but stay conscious when you experience it. Don't check out. Don't just get lost in the moment when you're doing what you're doing. Keep some awareness. If you keep some awareness, you get to taste the experience you're having in that moment, and then your inner higher intelligence discerns, like, is this something I want to keep doing? Is this divinely sent? Like, is this what my destiny is? Or am I acting out in some ego pattern? You see, that discernment power's there. And then that's how you transform and transcend something. You can't just not do something because of some moral idea, like this isn't good. Your desires and tendencies don't care about morality. And then you end up looking weird, like a lot of people do. I like those beings who aren't afraid to experience life. Those beings, you have it, and then you transcend something like that by seeing, like, it's not, you don't renounce it, you're just done with it. There's no mind that's trying to renounce something. You've done it enough, and you see it doesn't give anything. Like, doesn't lift the vibration. It takes the vibration. And so then that intelligence and wisdom, it just goes away. You don't even think about it. Those beings, they're authentic, and they speak with the power and a realization that a lot of other people don't. See, I'm drawn to that. I like that. And so let me know if that helped you. All right, have a good day.